guys! Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode of my nursing vlogs. At ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay ang mga common medications dito sa UK. So alam ko na madami akong viewers na nandyan pa sa Pilipinas naghihintay ng application nila. And alam ko, worried kayo sa OSCE exam nyo. But I suggest na wag nyong problemahin yung OSCE hanggang nandyan pa kayo kasi may time kayo mag-prepare. Pagpunta nyo dito, bibigyan kayo ng time para mag-prepare at mag-review ng OSCE. Pero pagkatapos ng exam, pag makapasa na kayo at meron na kayong PIN, wala na kayong time para mag-prepare. Paano ba maging actual nurse? So, the first way of preparing for this is actually subscribing to my channel because I will be doing a lot more of this. So, the first episode is about medications and common medications that we give here in the UK, especially in the ward areas. Minsan, magtatanong yung pasyente, para sa ano to? Ganon. So, dapat alam nyo yung basic. Lahat ng meds na binibigay nyo, dapat alam nyo. Huwag nyo ibigay kung hindi nyo alam kung anong medication na yan. You're not expected to know all the medications because we're just humans. Hindi tayo robot. Kaya, hindi kayo expected. But, at least, what you need to know is where to find the resources. Anong gagawin nyo pag hindi nyo alam itong medication na ito? The first thing that you need to know is where is your BNF? Saan ba yung BNF nyo na libro? Yung BNF is usually nasa clinical area kung saan nyo prepare yung mga medication. Palaging may BNF na libro. BNF stands for... Lagay ko na lang dito kasi nakalimutan ko. But anyway, BNF is like the list of all the medications. At dun yung makikita yung parang proper dose, ano ba yung indications nito, ano yung side effects, tsaka mga precautions about this meds. Sinusulat ko yung mga meds na mga parang hindi ko alam. Ano ba yung medications na ito? Sinusulat ko sa papel, dinadala ko sa bahay. Tapos, linagay ko siya sa Excel spreadsheet. Ipapakita ko mamaya yung Excel spreadsheet sa inyo, okay? So, ngayon, sabihin ko lang sa inyo yung parang common meds na binibigay ko. At dinivide ko siya sa 8 different kinds of common meds. Of course, it's not exhaustive. This is not everything. But ito yung parang common na naibigay ko for the last 2 years that I've been working here in the UK. So, first is the pain medications. Of course, nandyan yung paracetamol. What you just need to know about paracetamol is usually, nag-prescribe sila ng 1,000 milligrams. Kasi, usually naman yung mga tao dito, mabibigat, malalaki, and everything. Pero, dapat mong i-take note, if yung pasyente mo parang maliit siya tingnan, or parang yung weight niya is below 50. Kailangan yung i-check kung ano ba yung recent weight niya or kung wala naman siyang weight sa notes, kailangan yung kunin yung body weight niya. Kasi pag 50 kilograms and less, dapat 500 milligrams lang ang ibibigay nyo. Meron kasing study cases before na may pasyenteng namatay dahil parang nagka-liver failure na siya dahil sa sobrang paracetamol. Binigyan kasi siya ng 1,000 milligrams tapos yung body weight niya was just 45 kilograms. So, that's what we just need to know about it. Another one is cocodamol, is a combination of codeine and paracetamol. So, if ever meron kayong pasyente na merong ganito, make sure na hindi kayo magbibigay ng paracetamol. Kasi mag-overdose sila ng paracetamol. Tapos, next naman is codeine or dihydrocodeine. These are like stronger painkillers. Meron tayong morphine, oxycodone, tramadol, gabapentin, pregabalin. So, ito po ay mga controlled drugs. So, dapat meron kayong another nurse to do CD check with you. It takes more time at saka pag sobrang busy yung ward, minsan nadidelay yung pagbigay. Yung morphine, meron tayong liquid form na tinatawag na Oramorph. Yun yung pwede mong ibigay siya kahit wala ng CD check. Pinaka-common error sa drugs na ito is yung pagbigay ng what kind of preparation. Kasi meron tayong immediate release at meron tayong modified release, which is like the prolonged version for more pain control. The usual scenario is the patient is having regular painkiller like morphine twice a day. Pag meron pa silang pain after that, then meron silang parang as needed na additional morphine pero hindi na yung prolonged release. Yung fast acting na yung binibigay. So, dapat make sure nyong i-double check, triple check kung tama ba yung binibigay nyo. Dapat ba sa kanya is modified release or yung immediate release. And that's a usual CD error na nangyayari sa mga wards. Same with oxycodone. Ito yung dalawang pinaka-famous, yung morphine tsaka oxycodone na mga controlled drug na painkiller. It's very constipating. Once nag-start sila nito, dapat meron silang laxatives to go with it. So, common is Senna. Senna binibigay siya every night. Docosate sodium, Lactulose Macrogol or Laxido. Tapos pag constipated na yung pasyente, ilang araw na hindi nag-open ng bowels, bibigyan na siya ng glycerol suppository. Kailangan siyang insert sa inyong Shining Glory. Basta sa bowel area, sa rectum, okay? Pagbigay nito is, i-flat mo yung bed, side-lying, fetal position. Yung suppository, lagyan mo lang ng parang konting lubricating jelly at the tip, and then let the patient inhale, and then when they exhale, dyan nyo ipapasok yung thingy. Ipasok nyo ng bonggang-bongga. Tapos, after you insert that, ilagay nyo yung pasyente in a flat position at dapat magstay sila dyan for several minutes, even after an hour, until makafeel sila ng grabing explosion na inside their, lalabas, sasabog na talaga. Yun dapat yung feeling eh. Ganon din yung enema. Yung difference lang is, yung enema is bottle siya na may liquid. The principle is dapat yung medication magstay siya sa body for as long as it can, and for until the patient really has this strong urgency to go to the toilet. Kasi minsan premature nangyayari, hindi nag-open ng bowels kasi hindi nga nagstay yung medication, lumabas agad. Next is the antiemetics, or ito yung para hindi ka magsuka or nahihilo ba sila or parang feeling nila magsusuka sila. Ito ang bibigyan nyo. Ondansetron, cyclizine, metoclopramide, domperidone. Next is antihistamine. So, madami tayong mga pasyente na pag meron silang painkillers, opioids like morphine and everything, nangangati-ngati sila. So, meron silang parang side effect ng itchiness. So, kaya binibigyan sila ng chlorphenamine, which is the first line. Meron din tayong cetirizine and loratadine. Next is antihypertensive medications, which is ramipril, candesartan, amlodipine, and bisoprolol. Of course, before giving this, you have to check the blood pressure of the patient and make sure na hindi siya mababa. Yung bisoprolol, it's very common at binibigay siya usually sa mga pasyenteng may heart problem. Pero kailangan mo din i-check yung blood pressure kasi nakakababa din siya ng blood pressure. Next is antibiotics, of course. Meron tayong coamoxiclav tablet, merong phenoxymethylpenicillin, flucloxacillin, na hindi ko siya ma-pronounce. Next is trimethoprim at nitrofurantoin. So, itong dalawang ito is usually for the treatment of UTI. Sa mga IV naman, yung popular, dun sa old trust ko, we always give this tazosine, which is the tazobactam plus piperacillin. Meron din coamoxiclav, metronidazole, benzylpenicillin, clarithromycin, and ciprofloxacin. Yung kailangan nyo lang i-take note before kayo magbigay as well nito is i-check nyo kung allergic ba yung pasyente sa penicillin. Although, it's always important to check if the patient is allergic to something, which is very, very standard at kailangan talaga natin gawin every time nagbibigay tayo ng meds. But, ito yung pinaka-importanting time na hindi natin dapat kalimutan yung allergic ba sila sa penicillin. Kasi most of these antibiotics has penicillin with it. So, another one pala is gentamicin tsaka vancomycin. Yung gentamicin, meron siyang effect sa hearing mo. Kaya, dito sa UK, chine-check yung levels ng gentamicin mo if you are on a regular gentamicin. Same with vancomycin. I-check yung level kung nasa normal limits pa ba or hindi. Yung vancomycin kasi, it has an effect to the kidneys. Kaya, kailangan regulated siya. At saka, meron din tayong mga special medications for those na may mga history of seizures, or they call it here fits. Ang usual na binibigay na meds is valproate sodium at saka phenytoin sodium. Itong mga meds na to, kailangan hindi nyo i-omit. Pag meron kayong bagong pasyente dumating na merong ganito, dapat i-make sure nyo na meron silang stock. If not, tawagan nyo yung pharmacy. It's a critical medication, hindi siya pwedeng hindi maibigay. Next is for Parkinson's disease, binibigyan ng regular medication which is the levodopa. Common brand names is Cenemet at saka Madopar. So, ito lang yung kailangan nyo take note is to give on time. Kaya lang yung mga timing nito is hindi same dun sa mga regular medication rounds mo na times. Ginagawa ko, nag-aalarm ako sa phone ko para at least ma-remind ako. Kasi makakalimutan mo talaga eh, especially if sobrang busy yung araw. And the last one in my list is naloxone. Always siyang nasa PRN or as needed side of the medication chart. Especially sa pasyente na nag-take ng opioids. Kasi this is for opioid overdose. When are you gonna consider to give this is you check the patient. Very drowsy ba yung pasyente? Nag-take ba to yung pasyente ng opioids in the last 24 hours? hours? Yung respiratory rate ba niya, sobrang mababa na ba? 8 breaths per minute na ba or lower than that? Then, that is an urgent situation. Inform yung doctor right away, prepare mo na yung naloxone, at saka ibigay mo siya IV. Most of the nurses, they would be a bit hesitant to give this kasi hindi siya always binibigay. Pero yung problema lang naman kung ibigay mo to is the tendency na mawawala yung pain control. Magkakaroon sila ng grabing pain. So, kailangan maganda din yung assessment mo na make sure na it's really appropriate for the patient to have it. Oh, yun lang naman. Pakita ko na sa inyo yung aking Excel spreadsheet na ginawa ko before. Nung nag-uumpisa pa lang ako dito sa UK, grabe yung adjustment ko. It's because yung previous experience ko is neonatal intensive care unit. Tapos pagpunta ko dito, napunta ko sa adult surgical ward. So, it's a big difference and it's a big adjustment. At hindi lang ako napunta sa simpleng ward. Napunta ako sa pinaka-basing ward. Kaya ang dami kong ginawang additional studies. Pag off ako, sinusulat ko lahat ng mga things na kailangan kong ma-learn and everything. Kaya meron akong ganitong Excel. At gusto kong i-share sa inyo ito, guys, if you want a copy of this. It's not very complete, pero at least you get to prepare as well of what becoming an actual nurse here in the UK. Kung gusto niyo ng copy na ito, just comment your email address below. I'll send it to you via email. Okay, guys. That is my first giveaway. It's actually precious to me because I put effort on it. So, I hope you appreciate it. And just fill in the blanks as well kasi hindi ko nga na-complete, diba? So, that's it for my vlog and thank you so much for watching this. Subscribe to my channel and comment down below what you want me to talk about on my next video. See you soon! Bye!